Kenna and Gabriel are being held captive by a band of mercenaries. Defeating their leader, Severin, is their only way out.
I cannot let you fight for me. It goes against everything I believe in.
Well, I can't let you fight for me. It goes against what I need to become. So what's it going to be, Gabriel? I fight and become the queen you've trained me to be? Or you fight, and no matter the outcome, I never amount to anything?
Hells, you are not going to bend, are you? Then let us get your fight ready.
Gabriel walks Kenna through a training exercise while she discusses her upcoming duel.
What have you noticed about Severin that will help in this fight?
I noticed that Severin fights dirty.
Exactly. Fighting him will not be like sparring against the monks at the monastery. Not only will he fight dirty, but he will fight to kill.
Dominic and Rose are in his room, reviewing the rescue plan.
You're sure you can incapacitate the guards?
They're always demanding more wine with their dinner. It'll hardly be suspicious for me to give it to them.
And you said you got a few cases of peculiarly flavored wine?
Yes. They'll never taste the sleeping powder. And with the way those two drink, they'll be out before nightfall.
How flavorful is this wine?
I brought some of the wine with me. Would you like a taste? I promise, there's no sleeping powder in it yet.
No thanks. I need to stay sharp.
Always so responsible. That's what I like about you. Oh, Pidge, are we not paying enough attention to you?
Rose strokes Pidge's feathers, and he preens under the attention, nipping affectionately at her fingerprints.
Do you remember the first time we met, Dominic?
Yes. Maybe? No.
I do. It was by the stables. You were just children. You'd come back from the hunt. Some boys from the village were kicking something, and I thought it was just a rock, but you ran up and pulled a small bundle of feathers away from them. Pidge was just a little thing, wounded and crying for help. I thought he'd die, but you were so gentle.
That's right. You wouldn't look at Pidge because he made you cry. After that, I started coming to the kitchen every day for scraps.
Until Pidge was strong enough to hunt, I knew there was something special about you then. You were so strong, yet so gentle. And when the others were cruel, you stopped them.
Rose.
I love you, Dominic. If I'm being honest, I've been in love with you for a long time now.
Rose leans in, resting her head against his shoulder. Just then, the door opens and Tristan enters.
Sorry I'm late. What's going on here?
Tristan, this is nothing. It's nothing.
It doesn't look like nothing. How stupid do you think I am?
I'm not a little girl, Tristan. I'm free to love any man I want. And I'm in love with Dominic.
Rose, do you know how many women Dom's charmed into his bed? Do you really think you're the first? Get out of here. Now.
Rose blushes and runs out of the room.
That's my sister, Dominic. Not some wench from the taverns.
I know.
You stay away from her. I'm not going to watch you break her heart.
Tristan.
I don't want to hear it, Dom. You're like a brother to me. Act like it.
It is the night before the duel.
Gabriel. Kenna. Are you awake in there?
Even if I weren't fighting a trained killer in the morning, I doubt I'd get any sleep on this rock-hard slab.
I had to see you both.
We do not have much use for words right now, Leon. You have already made it very clear where you stand.
That's it. What happened to the queen, to your mother? It was my fault. I couldn't win the war for her. I couldn't save her kingdom. And I couldn't save her. And I don't want to see Kenna die too. At least I could prevent that. At least I could save Angiana's daughter.
What are you saying?
I don't care if they found out and string me up. I came to free you. The guards or watch are loyal to me. I'll send them off. Now get out of here and don't look back.
You think I'm going to run now?
You need to. You can't beat Severin. He's too good. Go now and live.
Leon, too much is at stake for the entire kingdom. This is bigger than this one duel. The realm needs its rightful ruler. We've suffered under Luther's tyranny for too long. I'm to lead an army against Prince Marco. If I run from some mercenary, who will follow me? I'm not running.
There's no convincing you, is there?
Not a chance.
You remind me of her.
Who?
Your mother?
That's twice now you've spoken of her like you were close friends.
She was a cunning strategist, and as determined as any warrior. Did she ever tell you the secret of the Battle of the Ram's Forge? The uprising against her?
No, I never heard of an uprising or of this battle, and I thought my mother had no secrets from me.
Well, maybe it's not my place to tell. Anyone's getting late.
Leon, I must learn the secret of Ram's Forge. I insist.
Well, after your father died, your mother took command of the kingdom. What you might not know is that some weren't happy about it. Your mother married into the royal family. She wasn't royal by blood. A lot of people thought someone else should have ruled. She had to decide what to do about them.
Years ago, Leon is standing before Queen Adriana, who is sitting upon the throne.
Your Highness, the nobles of Ransford have rallied in fiery force against you.
I'm surprised. I thought surely they were all talk.
Let me ride out with my men. We will meet those treasonous bastards head on and put them down once and for all.
No.
No.
No. They want a war. We're not going to give it to them.
Then what? Will it let them come and tear down our walls?
Walls that have withstood for centuries.
You've got something planned already, haven't you?
Perceptive as always. You're my captain of the guard, my chief strategist. Surely you could puzzle this one out.
Leon playfully smiles at Adriana. He can't be sure, but he thinks she's blushing.
I'm up for your game. These traitors are bloodthirsty, which means they'll overcome it.
With their entire army here, their homeland will be completely undefended. Ride out with a team of your fastest men and bring back their children. As our guests, of course. Their armies will lose morale quickly, even though we'll do their children no harm.
Of course. And the punishment for the uprising?
I'll handle it quietly.
Leon ends the story with Kenna here, but there's one moment he leaves out.
Very well. Good day, Your Highness.
Leon turns to leave.
Is that all?
That's all? For matters of the kingdom?
And what about matters of us?
Us?
Yes, please, Leon. We must talk about this.
Why, there's no us. I'm no royalty. I'll never be fit to rule. That pretty much ends the discussion on matter of us.
Must it? There are other ways for us to be together without you taking the crown.
But Your Honor.
Let me worry about my honor.
You may not care, but I do. Besides, I swore to protect you. I can't lie in your bed one day and have a clear head protecting you next.
So that's it then. You've made your choice.
I have, Your Highness.
Stubborn as always. And does it matter how I feel?
I know how you feel, and that's why I must go. Before I change my mind and do something foolish, something you'll come to regret, Adriana. In time, whether or not, you realize it now.
Leon.
Leon leaves quickly, despite the ache in his heart. Back in the present.
And that's how the Ramfords nobly lost their land. Your mother handled it quietly. She parceled out of the land of knights and soldiers who served her most loyally. She even forgave the rebels and let them live. Most people in the kingdom never even knew there was a rebellion.
I think I know why she kept it a secret.
Enlighten me.
She kept it a secret because she didn't want to fuel the rebellion.
She said rebellion incites further rebellion. If we made martyrs of them, there'll only be more rebels.
My mother never told me that she was so impressive.
She was a force to be reckoned with. That she was.
I always thought my mother's main goal was peace.
She wanted an alliance, but your mother was a true ruler. She did what she had to do.
Thank you for sharing this story with me.
Kenna,
Leon turns to go, but then stops.
Tomorrow I'll get Severin. I've seen him fight dozens of duels. I know how he kills. I don't want to see you end up dead. Your greatest advantage will be that he's overconfident. He thinks it will be easy to kill. Use that against him.
What do you mean?
He won't be cautious against you. as he'd be against other opponent. Let him think he's won, and will forget to keep his guard up.
So let him get as close to killing me as I can without actually letting him do it.
Unfortunately, yes.
And here I thought this might be difficult.
Good luck tomorrow.
Sounds like I'll need it.
Back at Stormholt, Dom is preparing to break the captive monk out of his cell.
I'll go down first and give the guards their meal. Once they've had the wine, we should be ready to act.
Rose travels down the stairs.
Tristan, about earlier. I'm sorry.
You should be. You don't go after your best friend's sister.
But listen, we've got more important problems right now.
You're right.
Dominic sees Rose, waving at him forward.
It's now or never.
Dominic and Tristan sneak in.
They're out, but I can't say how long they'll sleep. Just hurry.
Dominic and Tristan run to the monk's cell while Rose stands watch.
You came. I didn't think you would.
Dominic grabs the keys off one of the slumbering guards.
I told you, we're gonna save you.
Which one of these keys is the right one? They all look the same.
Dominic tries the key, and it fails to turn in the lock.
Try a different one.
Dominic tries the key, and it works. The cell door swings open. He and Tristan rush in. Tristan gestures to the monk.
Come on, up you go.
Can you walk?
I think so.
Looping the monk's good arm around Dominic's shoulders, he helps him hobble forward.
Martell is coming. Hurry!
Go, Rose, get out of here!
Rose flees. Dominic and Tristan hobble with the monk as quickly as they can. Dominic can hear Bartel's footsteps pad towards them from up the stairs.
What is this? What the three hells has happened to these guards?
As Bartel throws the door to the dungeon open, Dominic feels panic and anger.
Gods, we're doomed! We need a miracle!
Fire and rage burns inside Dominic. A torch by the stairway explodes into a wall of flame, completely blocking the doorway off. On the other side, Bartel screams.
Ah, what is this?
Quick, the other way!
While Bartel beats the flames out of his robes, Dominic, the monk, and Tristan escape through the dungeon's back door. They don't stop until they reach the castle's far wall, helping the monk towards the exit.
There, you're free.
Thank you. Thank you. You have my eternal gratitude. I owe you my life.
It's the least we could do.
You could have let me die. You did a great deal more than that. A seed planted today provides fruit tomorrow. You use your strength and bravery for justice. I pray that your courage will be rewarded. I saw the markings on you the first time we met, and then tonight.
Tonight? With the fire?
Now I am certain. Please take this as a token of my gratitude. It will help you.
The monk reaches into his tunic and takes out a small amulet.
What's this?
It'll help you in desperate times. Hopefully you'll never need it. Goodbye, my young friends.
The monk leaves. Dominic looks at the amulet in his hand and remembers the fire.
That was strange.
Tristan stares at Dominic like he doesn't recognize him.
What was that, Dom? Your hands! The fire!
I don't know what's happening to me.
That was just like those books Ma used to read to me. They were stories of an ancient people who could do all sorts of magical things with fire. They could even control dragons. I never believed in them, but now, well, it looks like I'm friends with one.
Whatever this is, no one can know about it, Tristan. I spent my whole life trying to fit in here. If anybody found out how different I am, well, everyone's not as accepting as you. Most would want me dead for this.
Hi, you can trust me to keep this secret.
That means a lot to me, brother.
Does Rose know?
Not yet. Please don't tell her.
I won't, but you'll have to, especially considering how she feels about you.
So, you're fine with what you saw between us?
I didn't say that. She's my only sister. The least you can do is be honest with her about who you are.
I will. I'm just not sure what to do when I barely understand what's happening myself.
I don't care how you do it, as long as you do it soon.
Later, in Dominic's room.
What's that you have there, Dominic?
It's some kind of amulet. A parting gift from the monk.
So, what happens now?
We don't stop. We don't give up. No one is safe as long as Prince Marco runs the castle.
Then it's time to end his reign.
Together.
The next morning at sunrise, all the mercenaries and ex-soldiers gather around for the duel.
Remember your training.
Thank you, Gabriel. I hope I don't disappoint you.
When I look at the woman you have grown into, my queen, you could not possibly disappoint me.
You baby's done blubbering, because I'm itching to find out what it feels like to kill a queen. I bet you still bleed red.
Too bad it had to come to this, Kenna. I was actually starting to like you. But no one beats Severin.
Val, you can buy me a drink after I win.
Cocky. You're starting to make me regret betting against you.
You bet against me?
No offense, it's easy money, even if the odds are stacked against you. And I mean really against you.
That is enough of that talk.
Kenna, are you ready?
Leon, I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
The first to surrender is the loser, and his or her life is forfeit. If Kenna wins, she and Gabriel are free to go. If Severin wins, he gets to hand her over to Prince Marco and collect the price on her head on behalf of the company. And now, let the duel begin.
The mercenaries cheer and shout as Kenna and Severin circle each other. Severin taunts Kenna, a pair of massive battle axes in his hands.
Don't worry, little girl. I'll make this quick.
Your sword will be no match for those axes.
I can do it. I have to.
Kenna doesn't respond to Severin's goading. Instead, she and Gabriel quietly study his weapons, armor, and movements.
Those axes are enormous. Must be slow to swing, even for a man like him.
Yes, you can avoid them if your attacks are quick and precise. I see a gap in his armor at the ribs, right under his arm.
Between his slow strikes and poor footwork, I should be able to get behind him with ease. Wish me luck.
Luck has no say in this. Your focus and skill will see you to victory.
Well, have you nothing to say, little girl?
I prefer to let my sword do the talking.
Severin bellows and storms at Kenna, axes high over his head. Kenna dives forward, rolling past Severin's legs, right as he buries his axe in the earth where she had stood. Behind him, Kenna takes the opportunity to attack. She swings her sword squarely at Severin's back and connect in the center of his armor. Off balance, he awkwardly lands on his knee, facing away from Kenna. Kenna closes in to strike at his back while he's down, but in a flash, Gabriel's warning echoes in Kenna's memory. She recalls Gabriel's warning about Severin fighting dirty, and brings up her arm to cover her face, just as Severin spins and throws a handful of dust at her. Her arm keeps it from blinding her.
No!
With clear vision, Kenna slashes her sword at his outstretched hand, hacking off 2 of his fingers. He growls and launches to his feet, charging at Kenna. He lashes at her again, his full strength behind the blow. His massive axe knocks the sword from her hand.
No!
Severin gets between her and her sword. The noise from the crowd builds to a roar.
You put up a good fight, Kenna.
Kenna runs to the side and dives for her sword. Severin swings at her head. Kenna rolls to the side, dodging Severin's blow. Severin heaves his axes up, getting ready for another attack. But Kenna has a split second to act. Kenna dives for the sword. Her hand closes around the hilt just as Severin turns to her.
So you got your sword back. You're still no match for me. You fight like a noble. I fight like an animal.
2 can fight dirty.
Kenna flicks her sword, redirecting Severin's attack. Kenna dances backwards, gracefully evading his increasingly vicious swings.
Die!
You won't get me to fight like you, Severin. So long as I am queen, honor will survive in the realm.
Kenna's too busy defending to land a strike of her own, but she meets Gabriel's gaze from the crowd. He nods to her with respect. Kenna parries and dodges, and is finally able to strike.
If there's one thing I've learned in this life, it's that honor is dead.
On that we agree. Now, it's time for you to join honor in the grave.
Severin glares at Kenna, bleeding heavily from the wounds she opened.
You think you've won, but you don't know anything about being in a real fight. Your fairy tale ends here.
He summons the last of his strength and unleashes a final onslaught. Kenna weathers the storm until Severin howls and slams a massive boot into her chest. She falls backwards, tumbling to the ground. The crowd grows excited, sensing the fight's end drawing near. Gabriel calls to Kenna.
Make his weakness your strength.
Severin grins with arrogance as Kenna struggles to push herself up on all fours.
And so, the legend of the little princess comes to a bloody end.
Kenna doesn't move, staying on all fours, making a show of her exhaustion. Severin saunters towards her. His colossal boots come to a stop right before her.
This is goodbye, little girl.
You're right about that.
Kenna snatches her short sword and steps upward, slipping it just under Severin's breastplate. He teeters backward, stunned.
I don't believe it.
He drops to his knees. Kenna stands up, brushing her hair from her face.
Give up, Severin. You've lost.
Kenna, what will you do with him? His fate is in your hands.
Join me, Severin, and live.
You're not going to kill me.
You're not my enemy. King Luther Nevrakis is, and if I'm going to attack the most powerful warlord in the 5 kingdoms, I'll need a man like you at my side. Will you fight for me? Kill for me? Die for me?
I will, my queen. About time we had a real battle worth fighting for. Taking that bastard Nevrakis down will be a story worth telling.
I never would have believed it.
Gabriel collapses her hand.
Kenna, I am as proud as any father could be. You have won our freedom and our lives.
Which is obviously better than the alternative. But what we need now is an army.
Kenna raises her hand, calling for silence from the crowd.
Mercenaries, former soldiers, heed me. I know you have a saying. I've proven my strength. Let me lead you. I know you fight for money. But now I'm asking you to fight for something greater. Fight for a ruler who fights alongside you. Luther Nevrakis is a traitor of the worst kind. And now he oppresses this land. Help me bring him the fate he deserves. Former Stormholt soldiers, regain your honor. Fulfill your promises. Defeat the enemy you've hidden from so long.
We're with you! Down with the Nevrakis tyrants!
You have our swords, but the mercenaries who follow Severin won't be easy to convince.
Thank you, Leon. Mercenaries, help me take the crown back from my enemies, and I promise you glory and honor. We will write history together. When children hear tales, this is the one they'll beg for. We will be the heroes who freed this land from Luther Nevrakis' oppression and cruelty. We will be the ones who restored glory and justice to our people.
Heroes, eh? Sounds good to me. Who's with me?
The mercenaries cheer.
It looks like the entire mercenary force will join us.
Thank you to those who pledged to fight at my side. Together, we will save this kingdom. I know it.
The former Stormholt soldiers applaud. Leon and Gabriel join them.
Taking down Severin, relying the troops? Not bad for a princess.
She is not a princess anymore, Leon. She is our queen.
Meanwhile, back at Stormholt.
The scouts that spotted Kenna are following her as we speak, Prince Marco. They've confirmed she's with a group of mercenaries in the grasslands.
Good. Very good.
Should I send word for them to apprehend her?
No, not yet. I've got something special in mind for her this time.